Hello YouTube, iFixItAll here, Team iFixItAll. So today we're going to make covers for our broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage, our brassicas. Got me a carpet up on the deep freeze here, and this here carpet is dressed to the edge of the deep freeze. Got this wooden block here for a reason. I'm using this fabric that I found at Lowe's a long time ago. Pretty much see-through, but it's supposed to be landscaping fabric, but it was really, really cheap. And I think that it has its application. It's not geotextile or nothing. So this is about 3 foot long or wide. So I've discovered that if I just pull out a 3 foot chunk of this, it's the amount I need for what I'm doing. And it just so happens if I pull this down and around to the floor, then I know I can razor knife along the edge of this, along the edge of that wood shim that I just laid, and that will be 3 foot by 3 feet approximately. This stuff is not a science. All right, so let's see if I can get her done. Generally, when I say this stuff isn't a science, it means I'm not bound to any kind of rule or anything precision. It's just keep it in the ballpark and stay disciplined with your routine, and you'll have a uniform product. We're going to be making covers for all this brassica, little bags, little hoods that go over top of the whole plant. All right, so now that I've got that cut, I can begin my work for, in this application, I'm going to get 2 covers out of this one cut I just made. Line up my corners, find 18 inches because half of 3 foot is 18. I'm going to get 2 covers out of this. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Tick mark that. Tick mark that. As well, always close your Sharpie. Of course, I got to reopen it again. All right, so you guys can't see me make this line, but I'm the one who needs to see it, and I'm the one who has the light over here, so it's just the way it is. Okay, make some dashes. There we go, good enough. Doesn't have to be precision. All right, so now that I got my lines, I'm going to open it again. Why is this cord like that? I hate that. Okay, guess I just got to work around it. All right, so I'm going to follow that line with some Elmer's school glue. This is what I'm calling the middle. You want to go wide on the middle. In my case, I want to go wider with the glue. Like I'm going to be like 3/4 of an inch on either side of my Sharpie mark. How's the light for everybody? I'll turn this off for a little bit. I don't know if that's helpful or not. This is called making do with what you got. This is my attempt to stay away from pesticides in the garden by getting this cover on the broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts before major pests show up. I have some real mature plants out there, and bugs are just itching to jump on them. I'm guaranteeing it. I'll try to fold this in half and adjust it accordingly. To get it folded in half. Am I there? I think I'm pretty close. I'm pretty close. So I think I'm going to iron me a crease in up here. That'll look good. That'll work. All right. I'm going to go ahead and lay my wax paper on here and get that glue heated up. Yep, that's what the iron was for. Just kind of advance heating that glue. Hopefully this wax paper is not going to start sticking on me. All right, that did real nicely. Happy with that. See if we've got some stiction. We do. Okay, so turn it right on again. I'm going to fold this over just to expose the peak of that corner up there. Start adding glue. Now I'm not going to go real wide on the glue here. I don't need to. I'm going to go about a ½ inch wide. Just get it on there in some way, shape, or fashion. Dang it. Remember, the end product here is going to be 2 covers. And the bonus is this cover is going to have a pesticide built into it. I have a citronella candle. It is like 4 or 5% citronella that I found at Dollar General. And I'm going to heat that wax up and wet brush some in on each bag, and it will be a part of the cover from now on. So I'm going to fold that over, get my wax paper, okay, I can peel that off without destroying things. Okay, that cooperated nicely. I'm going to do the same thing on the other part over here. Fold this back. Add my glue. If I open it, I always try to do things proper. Close things, open things. Close things, open things. It's called making do with what you got. How many people out there know what using what you got, what that means? Making do with what you got. That was my whole life as a kid. Don't throw nothing away until you harvest all the good parts of it off of it. Don't throw nothing away until you harvest every screw or anything it might be. You might need that for something one day. All right, so I got that glue on. Fold that fabric over. That's kind of sketchy right here. The fabric didn't land like I thought it would, but that's quite all right. This is precision. There we go. Let's see if that lands. And it does. Okay. Get some wax paper on it. Get an iron. I don't edit videos, people. So, only thing I generally do is pause. Let's see if I can remove this without breaking the glue. I did. Okay, well, looks like we got a glued section there. I'll fold this out of the way for a sec. Get this board. Now, remember that Sharpie line I had? And remember I said go wide with your glue in the middle? I'm going to razor knife that right down the middle. Cut away first. Then cut down the Sharpie line. And that, don't need that. Now we have a bag that is about 1.5 feet tall and about 1 foot diameter. That's glued. And I have a way of securing and bunching up the bottom too. So let me move on to my next step. Hang tight. I think what I'll do is just torch this candle to get some liquefaction going on. Get me a little paintbrush. There we go. See if I can heat it up. Hey, maybe I can just let that burn here in the garage while I build these. Doesn't sound too unreasonable. Brush that on. A couple of different spots. Basically, we're adding a scent to it. Apparently, bugs can smell too. I never understood a lot of times how bugs find their favorite plants to go destroy. But that can't be good. Maybe I should not be brushing that on the carpet. So I'll roll this out of the way. I'll brush it on top of the deep freeze instead. but then I can't see if it's getting applied. Must see the candle wax. Oops, that's definitely melting. Oh boy. Got some there. Okay, so that's supposed to have citronella in it. All right. Well, there's one built. Set that aside right there and keep the brush with the candle. Boy, there's logic to this stuff. I wonder if adding that wax just sealed this bag. I'm building this without any experience. Ruh-roh, Raggy. Oh, okay, it opened up. Okay, now I know. When you brush it, of course the wax is going to seep through and do the thing with the thing. All right, so there we go. There's one bag that is almost ready to put on. We got to move on to another step. Hang tight. Alrighty, got me a thing of rubber bands here, and a dowel, and of course I forgot a tool. Had to get my 100-year-old pair of tin snips. So if you ever work with a lot of tools around the yard and whatever, and you notice your tools are kind of dark in color, you drop things, whatever, put bands of tape, yellow tape or red tape. They're easier to see when you go around looking for them. I'll cut these up about 2 inches long. It's not precision. It's weird. Shoot, all of it's shooting that way. All right, got a couple, 3 of them. I don't need too many for this task. I'm only going to be putting one on for you guys on a plant. So I'm going to take this rubber band and there we go. Yeah. Center it up. Right on that dowel. Okay. We have a completed system here. Let's go put it on a plant. This one's got the citronella juices on it. And it smells like it too. Hang tight. What's all the commotion about? What? What? You want to be YouTube famous? Alright, so told you guys I had brassicas coming on pretty good. There. Supposed to be there. 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 So let me get you staged up and we will cover this Brussels right here. This guy looks like it's that water. These things are like waterproof. Why can't we make products that do this? I mean, we do, but they're not biodegradable. It's not a trace of water. All right, hang tight. Okay, here we go. I may need to do some leaf trimming. I don't know. It's supposed to be a Brussels. This thing got kind of carried away on me, and I wanted to do the hardest one first. I see I'm starting to develop buds. when you see little buds pop up in between. I got a worm here. Yeah, boy. Okay. Something's going on there. Yep. There's another one showing up. And another. And another. They're coming up out of the ground. Yeah. I want you to see the enemy. Hang on. I don't know if you guys have ever seen what actually gets in there and screws up your brassicas. I hate touching this. But see that worm right there? See him cruising along? That's the guys that's going to get you. So I'm going to examine this thing to see if there's any worms crawling up it before I cover it. Because this is the first week of June. I should have had these covered. I don't see anybody. Let me get this camera back in the stand. Hope I don't lose audio on this. Let me get my scissors. Just going to strategize something. If you have little buds showing, as soon as they get to be about like M&M size, you leave about a ½ inch of stem sticking out. And that'll create a shelf for that little bud to rest on and grow. That would be for Brussels sprouts. That's how you grow them. Eventually, what you'll have is you'll have all your, as this thing grows taller, you'll have all your limbs, all your leaves cut off with like a ½ inch nubbin sticking out. And this Brussels sprout will go from a little M&M to the size of a twice the size of a grape. Well, you know what Brussels sprouts are. Where'd my bag go? Oh, there it is. I'll try to fish this thing on. This is my biggest plant, so this will help me understand how much of a time I lost. Well, that went on pretty good. It didn't go on that bad. I don't want to fold the leaves over, but I've got that on. And now what I'm going to do is try to locate my rubber band. Where'd it go? The rubber band on the dowel. Hang tight. I got to pause while I hunt that thing down. I found it. It's right where I left it. So right now, my condition is that I do not have any worms on this Brussels sprout. And what's bothering me is this design here needs to be taller for Brussels sprout because this plant's going to get way tall. If I don't go taller, it's going to introduce problems. Oh, it smells like citronella too. All right, so that's on. Looks goofy as hell, don't it? But that's what it is. Now you can imagine this will be a little bit different for things like broccoli. Okay. I don't really care too much about the going-ons down low on the broccoli. I'm trying to protect that head. Now, as the broccoli, once I take the big head, then little shoots will pop up off the sides. I may have to trim some of this growth back a lot. What do we got here? What are you? No, it's just some grime. Yeah, I'm on the lookout for any of these worms. I got to inspect for worms before I cover it up. But that's a completed system right there. It's buttoned up all the way around. I don't like the height of this app. I don't like the height for the Brussels, because that Brussels is going to be 2 or 3 foot tall. So I'm probably going to have to make special sacks just for the Brussels, because that's what Brussels does. When your Brussels sprout grows and gets to a certain point, you need to start snipping off the limbs, the leaves, the branches, and leave about a 1/2 inch as a shelf for the bud to enlarge in. The only place you should have any leaves on your Brussels is like around the top, like a hat. They become very heavy, but you've got to figure out a way to protect them too if you don't use pesticides. But yeah, I can smell that citronella. And there should be plenty of light to pass through to let this thing grow. Alrighty guys, that's the end of this video. We will see you. Bye.